By the time Al entered college at California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo, a number of his songs were already staples on Dr. Demento's radio playlist, but he was still a loner, and that earned him the nickname Weird Al from some of his dorm mates.
He was kind of an enigma. He wasn't standoffish, he was just very shy.
That would soon change dramatically as some enthusiastically received performances on the accordion in the dorm inspired concerts for a larger audience. In October of 1977, with his friend Joel Miller at his side, he played the College Coffee House.
Here's this guy with an accordion, a guy with bongos, and they had no idea what was about to happen to them.
Visit Mr. Frump in the hospital. I see you most every day. And when I see Mr. Frump in his iron lung, this is what I hear him say.
If you're shy, you don't exist. I mean, you're not an entity. You're nothing.
You ain't nothing! You ain't nothing!
When he got that first reaction from the coffee house audience, it was discovery from him because he's getting this feedback. And he's loving it.
With the Dr. Demento show as an inspiration, Al always had the secret ambition to be on radio as a DJ himself. In college, he got that opportunity with the Weird Al Show on the campus station, KCPR.
KCPR, this is Weird Al.
Everybody had some name like the Captain or the Sheriff or Macho Mike, and I thought, Weird Al, yeah, that'll work.
Though the station had a music system in place, Al totally ignored it and played what he wanted. Adding further tension to the workplace, he had also begun to develop a number of characters and skits that management deemed politically incorrect. A showdown was inevitable.
Because he didn't do what the station wanted him to do, a rebel, he ended up getting kicked off the air. In hindsight, that's probably one of the best things that ever happened to him. There was a big brouhaha, and it was basically over freedom of speech, and even people that didn't like him stood up for him.
I loved being on the campus radio station. I loved the music and the comedy, but I thought, well, good luck making a living at that.
Al was still at the station when he wrote the song parody that officially launched his recording career. In the summer of 1979, My Sharona was a huge hit for the group The Knack, and it was one of the station's most requested songs.
I came up with a brilliant concept of My Bologna, and since I couldn't afford a real recording studio, I went across the hall from KCPR into the bathroom, where the tiled walls gave a really nice, warm reverb effect, that bathroom wall of sound. So I just set up a microphone and brought in my accordion and recorded it there, sent the tape to Dr. Demento.
That was way bigger than anything else Al had done. So from that's when I realized that I really had a future star.
The follow-up to My Bologna was a parody of the Queen song Another One Bites the Dust, titled Another One Rides the Bus.
I'd gotten to know Dr. Demento a little better, so one Sunday night when I was on his show, I told him about a song that I had written the day before called Another One Rides the Bus. And since I just happened to have my accordion with me, he let me world premiere it on the radio that night.
Another One Rides the Bus got more instantaneous reaction and stronger reaction than anything else I had ever played up to that time, and perhaps anything else I ever played in all the 37 years of the show.
The cult buzz around Another One Rides the Bus led to the appearance by Al and his drummer Bermuda Schwartz on a national TV show hosted by the late Tom Snyder.
Riding in a bus down the boulevard and the place was pretty packed. I couldn't find a seat, so I had to stand with the perverts in the back. You were smelling like a locker room. There was junk all over the floor. We're already packed in like sardines. We're stopping to pick up more liquor. Another one rides the bus.
We were pretty much scared out of our minds. I was straight out of college, and all of a sudden they were flying me out to New York to perform live on national TV, The Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder. And I was wearing these horrible, crazy quilt velvet pants that a friend of mine had found in a thrift shop, and barefoot, frizzed out hair. It was quite a look.
Well, I think I'm missing a contact lens. I think my wallet's gone. And I think this bus is stopping again. Let a couple more freaks get on. Look out!
John Schwartz is a serious, talented drummer, and I had him on his knees, pounded on my accordion case, blowing into duck calls, siren whistles. I mean, if you're in my band, you can't have you can't have too much of a sense of dignity.
We know this is the drill. I mean, we knew what we were. Well, I didn't when I said I'll be your drummer, but not having any idea I'd be in a dress more than once in my career with him.
In the beginning, when we first started playing, it really was a hard-driving band with a kind of a crazy comedic edge.
As the thing grew, Al started incorporating all these new elements and dressing us up, and it became another aspect to the whole thing.
And so now it's really more like a theater production, so costumes and special effects and everything.
Like those Madonna-inspired cone bras once worn during the parody song Like a Surgeon.
If you've never worn a cone bra in public before, it may be a little bit of a change to go through.
It's fairly embarrassing. But after a while, I just said, I don't like this. I told the keyboard player that, you're more of a ham. Why don't you do it? I'll play keyboards.
As the new guy, I am the scapegoat in the band. I'm the one that is forced to take the pratfalls, take the pies in the face, wear women's undergarments.
I think he actually enjoyed it.
Probably the height of absurdity was putting us all in drag, in serious drag, for the most recent album, Straight Outta Linwood.
The greatest thing about being in his band is that we get to stretch out on so many different styles of music.
My band is extremely versatile. It really kind of irks me when some people will denigrate the band by saying, oh, they're a comedy band, they're a joke band, and as if, doing humorous material implies that the craft isn't there. When in reality, it takes a tremendous amount of skill and craft to be able to pull off that kind of stuff. I mean, those guys are seriously some of the best players in the world.
When it comes to the live thing, sometimes you feel like you're on stage with Elvis, Jesus, and Santa Claus, the way the crowd looks up at the stage, and it's an incredible energy source.
He's got a great voice. He sings really, really well. I mean, anyone that can take off all of those, all the singers that he's done, all different ranges. You hear the one that goes, that one, nails that.
In early 1982, Al began recording the songs for his first album. One of the tracks was a parody of the Joan Jett hit I Love Rock and Roll, titled I Love Rocky Road. The writer of the original song was Jake Hooker, a songwriter, manager, and recording artist in his own right.
Jay asked if I could come up with a producer, and Rick Derringer was my client, so it was pretty easy to make it all happen. One of the first things that we agreed on was the record can't be the joke. The lyrics are the thing that's funny. The music has got to be great.
Al had been signed previously to a short-lived recording contract with Capitol Records for his single My Bologna, and got his first taste of the good, the bad, and the ugly of the music business.
My first big gig was pretty horrific. I opened for Missing Persons in 1982.
The audience was very different. They weren't familiar with Al. And we came out on stage and immediately began the accordion riff from It's Still Billy Joel to Me, which is a parody of It's Still Rock and Roll to Me. And that audience was not amused.
You couldn't even hear the music after a while over the booing and the clatter of change and bottles and things hitting the stage. But I stayed in there for 45 minutes because, I was paid to be on stage for 45 minutes.
And, probably got our $500 for the opening spot and skulked out of there, and that was it.
I won't say that I was thinking about giving up showbiz, but at that point I thought, I don't think I want to be an opening act for a while.
Shaken but not deterred, the challenge now was to find a company that would not only understand what he was doing as an artist, but also have enough faith to give him the financial and creative support he needed to move his career forward. Initially, the outlook was bleak.
I would get on the phone and say, hi, I manage an artist named Weird Al Yankovic, and what would come back